Welcome to Off the Rails, Right versus Left. Trying to figure out what's going on here. All of our podcasts are offline. So trying to get this fixed. I don't know what the heck's going on. So bear with me just a minute. And I'll get this fixed. Alright, we're up on Telegram. And up on Twitch. Alright, this is so weird. It says that I was streaming to multiple channels. That's just completely bizarre. All right, so sorry about that. A little technical difficulty. Right to kick it off. Welcome to Off the Rails, Right versus Left. I'm Rob B. And as the title says, I'm going to break down exactly how the Democrats are evil. We hear Republicans and conservative commentators like take little pieces of ideas and how they're evil, but this is going to be a multi-part series because there's no way we can do it all in one 30-minute show. But we're going to break down how absolutely everything that the Democrats think and do are evil, and Democrats are evil. I'm sorry, if you vote Democrat, you're evil. Just like the people, even if you're just doing it because you're stupid, the stupid people that followed Hitler were still evil. Because if you engage in evil because you're too stupid to realize you're doing evil, you're stupid and evil, but you're still evil. So that's what we're going to talk about. Brian and Brad should be joining me shortly, but that's going to be our show today. So the show starts right now.
All right, welcome, revelers. This is Off the Rails, Right versus Left, the podcast that we do because we think the left is evil. I'm Rob B.
And I'm Brad Lee.
And I'm Brian G.
And we are Off the Rails, Right versus Left. Again, we're doing this show because we think everybody needs to know that the left is evil.
Classic.
All right. So here we go. We're going to get into the meat of it here. And we're going to start off with one of the Democrats' favorite phrases: making the rich pay their fair share. Okay. So we have to start with the most basic fundamental idea that anything that is not needed by every citizen should not be paid for by every citizen. So what that means is, like, for example, welfare. It benefits some, but not others. Which means you're stealing from one group of people and giving it to another. Now, I know people say, well, it's not stealing and all of that, but how is it not stealing? If you don't pay your taxes, so your money can be given to somebody else, what happens? People with guns come to you and they take it from you. That's stealing, okay? Nothing. The government shouldn't pay for anything that isn't for everybody. Now, the fair share idea, okay? If you make, say, $20,000, okay, that's below the poverty line, okay? If we had a flat tax at 10%, you would pay $2,000 in taxes. What's up, Bradley?
What's up? Damn thing.
My headphones aren't
Oh,
working.
it says I'm
That's good to
Brian
know.
G.
So, anyway, so what I was saying, if you pay 10% taxes, if that millionaire makes $20 million, he's paying $2 million in taxes. So he's paying 1,000 times more taxes than you. He is paying his fair share. And it's fair because you guys are each giving up the same proportion of your income. Your amount that you have to pay is less because you earn less. Okay? So you look at it this way. It would be like, say you and your brother go and get a job. Okay? You do a good job and you make 50,000 a year. He does a bad job and gets fired and makes nothing. So he thinks he's entitled to half your money because he doesn't have any. No, you're entitled to 100% of your money. If you redistribute the money to anybody else, nothing but that. Okay? And the government is so sneaky about all the different ways that they steal from you. Okay?
Well, I mean, dude, conservatives do that too. Like, I was just, Dave Landau used to be third chair on Steven Crowder.
Right?
Steven Crowder fucking went off about. Can you hear me? Okay. As Steven Crowder went off about, what the Daily Wire was doing and the Blaze and all that bullshit. Well, this whole time, he's got Dave, who is a mainline comedian, and Steven is doing stand-up comedy tours with Dave Landau, and Steven Crowder isn't the main headlining act, right? It's Dave Landau, but for some reason, Steven got 70% of all the earnings from.
So Steven Crowder's a thief too.
Yeah. Which explains why fucking Dave is because Dave he didn't renew his contract. Like at first, Steven said that Dave had jury duty, which apparently he did, but apparently the way he lives in Michigan with his wife and son, and Carter said that he had to be down here pretty much almost 7 days a week. He even had to be in the office on Fridays, even when they weren't. Even if whether they were filming or not, and they would film for all the skits and commercials that they did.
Right. Yeah, that's bullshit.
So yeah, he was, and apparently he was kind of a dick, but.
I mean, but still, that's a voluntary transaction that Dave entered into.
Right. No, and Dave's not mad about it, but he came out because he has to explain to his fans why he's not there on Crowder's show anymore, because Steven's not talking about it at all.
Right.
Which is really weird.
That's cool, Brian. Hop on. We don't care if you're goofy with no backdrop.
I'm on my daughter's Amazon Fire.
Nice. Get him on here.
Because the Chrome shit, so.
Well, he's not very on with that phone. It's got like one red bar, and we can't see you. Or at least I can't see him. Anyway.
I can't see him. There we go.
So we kind of see you, almost see you. Anyway, okay. So the next part to it. So the way the government used to be funded is tariffs. Okay. So now here's the funny thing. Okay. Rich people got rid of tariffs by saying that it was unfair to the consumers. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know about that. Okay? So, yes, of course, they're going to pass on the cost to everybody else. Okay? But if you're buying a $250,000 sports car from Italy, your tariff is going to be a lot higher than the $10 or $5 Chinese pair of shorts that the poor person's buying with their money. You know what I mean? Now, granted, they might be spending a lower percentage of their income, but they're spending bigger ticket items. So they're still taxing more. Okay? So between and the other part that they leave out on the tariffs is tariffs equalize the prices of American-made products to the prices of foreign-made products, which makes it so American companies can compete and Americans are employed, which means they have more money to go and shop.
Mm-hmm.
Funny how that works. But what they do instead? Well, they convince these morons that it's bad for you to pay tariffs because you're going to pay more of a percentage of your income. When in actuality, like everything they do benefits them. Now, understand, as all of these rich politicians are sitting there preaching that they're going to make the rich pay their fair share and all that, make no mistake, the millionaires like them are going to have plenty of loopholes so they don't have to pay the taxes themselves. Okay? Nothing stops them from sending extra money to the federal government. None of them do. Okay? And you can
Mhm.
go and you can go review like the politicians that go and actually put out their taxes. You can go and look, and Democrats especially are very bad givers. Republicans are actually better givers than Democrats by far. The only thing Democrats
Right.
give to is political causes that do evil shit, and that's it.
Like BLM.
Yeah, like BLM that caused the death of thousands of black people and caused the and at the same time they were donating money to mutilating children.
Can you hear me, Rob?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Well, yeah, it's been shown for decades that conservatives are much better givers. They give to private organizations and charities where liberals love to give to their favorite charity, which is government, which we
Right.
all know the
So, and
government can't do squat.
I saw a video the other day of somebody like complaining about Sunday school, talking about how kids were always taught or they always had school like at the churches on Sunday, and that was indoctrination. Okay, well that's not exactly accurate. You know why everybody was taught at Sunday school? Because there was no public education. You know,
Oh
back in the
yeah.
days when we were the number one country in the world and the most powerful country in the world, there was no public education. Everything was privately funded, and then you had people that started up private schools, and these private schools were very organized because they got professional teachers, people that specialized in education, and they were doing really well. And then the government tried to copy it, and of course, the government screws up everything they do. So they did a shitty job of copying the private system. So what do we have now? We still have private schools, and they're very successful. And we have the public schools, and they suck.
Well, they need to get rid of the federal education system, put it back into state and local hands.
I don't think it should be in government hands at all.
Nope.
Nah, I disagree.
It should be the community.
I think it should go back to
you,
the communities.
yeah, if you want to contribute a certain amount from federal funds to go for each student, okay, I'm for that.
Well, like
It
I
goes
said,
to
get rid
whatever
of the
school.
federal education system.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, but the government screws it up. So and basically the way they get it is like the difference between if you're shopping at Macy's and if you're shopping at Walmart. Okay, when you go shopping at Walmart, you're getting a lot more than the person that goes and shops at Macy's.
Yeah.
And that's how the government is with your money. They do everything at way less efficiency than you do. Or like shopping at Whole Foods when you're on a food barn budget. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. Like I said, take it out of the federal hands, get rid of the federal education system, put it back into the local hands. Let the cities and the states decide how they're going to educate their kids, whether they do educational vouchers and have a very basic public school system that's run by the cities, or just take the money and hand it out to the needy to go to private schools, or whatever works for that community. But
Yeah, and then you look at the earned income credit, and you look at the earned income credit and the child tax credits. And now, granted, I'm okay with rewarding people for having kids. I'm okay with that. Okay, but you should not get that credit if you did not pay any taxes.
Yeah.
Right.
Period. Like, how are you going to get a credit back? You paid $1,000 in taxes all year, and you get a $6,000 refund check. That's not a refund. What it is they created another welfare program. They turned the U.S. Treasury into a welfare program, and they're stealing from one group of people to give it to another group of people. Okay.
Well, and
Now
then they're
again,
incentivizing.
I like encouraging people to have kids because they are important, but I'm not obligated to support your kids.
Well, and they're incentivizing single mothers by giving single mothers more money for being single and having kids for each child. So now women are encouraged to stay home and be a single mother.
Yeah, and I think that there's a secondary evil agenda behind that because all these Democrats, they're pedophiles, and
Yeah.
unintended children are better targets, and the ones that aren't pedophiles are morally corrupt. So a lot more single moms that they can cheat on their wives with, promising them a better future until they kick them off to the curb. So
Yeah, I
not
don't
all.
agree with I don't agree with with that being all the Dems, but a good percent.
I'd say you cover all the ulterior motives like that, and you get them
Yeah,
all.
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
disagree.
What? Okay. So let me. Okay. Great. So give me an example of one good and moral Democrat.
Oh, geez, dude. I know a lot of good moral
Uh,
Democrats.
the moral and any politician doesn't go together.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they'll be moral on one subject and immoral on the next.
Okay. Any Democrat moral on any subject.
Oh, geez.
I don't know. I don't think so. Not now. Maybe before. Maybe 30 years ago. Maybe.
Well, I'm not
Maybe.
going to play a name
Yeah.
game. You can.
Like El Holy JFK, who was banging a movie star in the Oval Office plus half a dozen other girls.
Yeah, I'm not.
You can't say Bill Clinton either. So
Right.
Yeah,
Obama,
yeah.
who's married to a transgender.
I don't know.
Oh, jeez.
The reason that the Civil Rights Act was fucking even passed, and that it was passed in during a Democrat presidency, the House and Senate were both led by Republicans, right?
Yeah, and not a single Democrat voted for it, and they had to
Not a
override a
single
veto.
Democrat. Yeah. So the only reason that he was able to the only reason he signed the Civil Rights Act was because he didn't have the support that he
And what
needed.
president signed that bill?
Oh, was that fucking LBJ?
Yep. Who immediately came up with the welfare program to destroy the black family.
Yep.
And he did
And
it
Margaret
by
Sanger
stealing from
was
people to incentivize the destruction of the black community.
right.
Okay? So other forms of redistribution of wealth. Well, I find it kind of funny the way that they sneak all these other taxes in without telling you that they're taxing you. Your vehicle registration fee every year, that's a recurring tax on a purchase you already made.
Right. Property tax.
Yeah, it doesn't go to pay for the roads. We've got highway funds that go for that. The
It's
cops
a
write
rental
tickets
fee
like a
for your
mother.
property. It's a
Huh?
rental fee for your It's a rental fee for your property.
It's an ownership tax for your property. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, and they
basically
do the
you're
same. They
renting
do
your
the same thing
property.
with property taxes. Okay, tax me when I buy it. Tax me when I earn it. Don't tax me for the privilege of keeping it. And guess what's going to happen if you don't pay that tax? They will come and take your shit. It's theft.
Yep. Yeah, you don't pay your property tax, they're taking your property from you.
Exactly. Now I've benefited from that because I did buy a couple of rental properties uh, that I got on a tax foreclosure. They were like $500. Of course, for the first 10 years I owned the property, the rent was only like $200 a month. Didn't even cover all the repairs that needed done constantly on it. But still, like I still bought the property for almost nothing because somebody couldn't pay their taxes. And
Right.
what gives the government a right? Because now you can't say that it was our representatives that did those taxes because none of them ever say that they're going to tax us like that. None of the Republicans that are in office right now that voted for that gigantic omnibus bill when they were running for re-election said, I'm going to vote to tax you and your children to death, I'm going to vote to inflate our currency so bad you won't be able to buy food. None of them said that. They lied about what they're represented. They're not representing the people. They're representing what they want. They're representing getting their seats back. Okay, so all the taxation is without representation. So I think that we do need a little constitutional amendment that any politician who doesn't make clear their policy positions should be disqualified for office, and anybody that goes against the campaign promise should be criminally charged for defrauding the American people. I think that'd get rid of a lot of the extra taxes, and that would get rid of a lot of the lying politicians.
I agree. Perhaps.
I'm trying to figure out what I'm seeing here on Brian because it looks like he's got a longhorn steer next to him, and it's
Yeah, I
horns on the
know.
screen.
I've been looking at that too, going, what is that? Oh, is that part of his steering wheel, or is he at home? I don't think.
No, he was in the car when he came on.
Yeah, you can't see the steering wheel.
Anyway, so okay, so that's a bunch of different ways that they're stealing from. Oh, the voter ID, like your driver's license. How much does it cost for you to go get your driver's license?
Nothing.
Yeah, does it cost like $33?
I got my driver's license for free. I got my driver's license for free.
How?
I literally went in there, and it took me this was literally the fastest I had ever been in and out of the DMV ever. Literally, altogether, not even 20 minutes. And I went in there fully expecting to have to pay, and I didn't have to. I was like, what? Well, you're a disabled veteran, so.
Yeah, when we renewed my wife's license, it was like $20-$30.
Okay, so here's the thing: when you do a renewal to replace your license, it only costs $11. Or when you get a replacement, a duplicate. Okay,
right.
If they can make the card for $11, there's no reason for them to charge you $27 fucking dollars. It's a tax that you did not vote for. So I think at this point in time, no taxes should be able to be raised without a direct vote from the citizens. And they can't play any bullshit. They have to say exactly what the tax is for, just like cities have to do when they want to issue a bond.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, I know. I know up in Anchorage, Alaska, you had the emissions, which you used to have to go get your emissions test done, which that was like $100, and then you spent like 70, 80, $120 depending on your vehicle for the registration. Well, then they got rid of the emissions test because they're going to all these new cars. All the cars are pretty much passing. There's no reason to have the emissions test. So we're just going to have you pay for your taxes and get rid of the emissions test to save you money. Well, then the emissions, the recertification of the emissions went up to like $300. So you ended up paying more, but it all went to the government rather than going to a company that was testing your car.
Right. Well, we still have to go get inspections here in Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, and part of that is the fucking smog shit.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't have to hook it up to all the gas detectors like they used to back in the day. Now they can just fucking hook it up to your car and see what's going on through there.
Yeah, so it's
But they still gotta check and make sure that there's no leak from your gas tank, so that there's no fucking gas vapors getting into the. This is stupid.
Right. So and on that it costs what, like $30, right? $40, something like that.
I think it's 27.
Okay. No, I think it was more than that. Anyway, but irregardless, it costs about $3 worth of labor takes about $3 worth of labor for them to plug the computer in.
Well, they have to do a safety inspection as well. You know, they have to drive it, make sure it stops within 100 feet or whatever. Like, doing the inspection is crazy.
Yeah,
You gotta make sure the parking brake works, all the lights work, the horn works, blah, blah, blah.
yeah,
But it makes sense, like, because some of these older vehicles, you know, I mean, there's some vehicles that you need to catch it. Otherwise, they're driving down the road and kill somebody because the fucking parts worn out and broke off and the fucking wheel went flying down the road.
okay. We got people to go flying down the road like 80 miles an hour that never took a driver's test that kill people anyway.
No, yeah, no, I know. I'm just saying that it's the safety inspection I can understand because we already got idiots like that driving down the road, right? We don't need an idiot like that driving down the road while having a wheel that's about to fall off because no one bothered to check it, you know?
Right.
And it's also given the shop an opportunity to sell stuff as well.
Bingo.
If you want to look at it that way. But I mean, I agree with you. It's a messed up thing, but
And
you know,
everything
there's
everything that
pros and cons to a lot of things.
and everything the shop sells you that you may or may not actually need yet, the government gets a cut of that too in sales taxes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah. And that money before it got to your hand has already been taxed anyways multiple times, and then you're going to go and tax it again for doing business.
Right.
That's the cost of business.
I will put it this way. Every Democrat that says that a consumption tax is unfair is a liar. Because every single blue run city and state has their own sales tax, which is the consumption tax.
I like the consumption tax.
So, well, the problem is they have so much debt at this point and such irresponsible spending that the consumption tax would be like 30%.
I like a federal consumption tax. I've read some good books on it, and I like it. I know you hate it. You disagree with it.
No, it would be great. It would be great if we shrunk the government down to essential services.
I agree.
But
More conservative, so we all agree with that.
Right. So my point is, unless they shrink the government down to where it only provides stuff that provides for everyone, like the police provides for everybody, fire department provides for everybody. Technically speaking, I'll go with schools. Schools provide for everybody. The military provides for everybody. Infrastructure provides for everybody. That's fucking it. There's not another single fucking part of the government that provides for everybody.
Well, I do, as far as welfare goes, I do like having a system that helps give somebody a hand up when they're fallen, but not this free money for the rest of your life crap. I mean, sometimes we do need a helping hand, and we need to come up with a system that can be there to give you a helping hand on that rare occasion you need it.
Okay, and they have it. It's called unemployment.
Yeah.
That's an insurance that you pay for in case some shit goes wrong. You know what would probably be more effective? Teach people how to manage their money and save their money.
Yeah.
Welfare is more like support for the destruction of the nuclear family.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the destruction
because it incentivizes the woman to leave the man.
Yeah.
And B, stay at home and be an unproductive member of society, or C, get a job and let somebody else raise your child.
Definitely, that's the way welfare works today. And I totally agree that one of the biggest issues in the U.S. today is the destruction of the atomic family, the devaluing of fatherhood and manhood, and then now the devaluing of mothers and motherhood.
Okay,
right. And see, so
go ahead.
To Rob, to Rob's point, though, never have you ever seen anything good from the government knocking on your door and saying, I'm here, I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
No, amen.
And that's exactly what, the welfare system is doing. And I know that at first that's not what they wanted to happen,
Yeah.
but because the left is so evil, and you can see it really now how fast it's progressing, because you've got people like Bill Maher who says, I'm still a Democrat, but the party has just ran too far to the left.
Yeah.
Like Elon Musk is saying, tweeting out photos of him, at certain times, and then it just shows him going further and further, eventually to where he's running to the right because the left is so far left.
Well, and I agree that any of those programs should be dropped from the federal and handed back to the local communities to do whatever they want, as far as
right, and we should
helping hands up and
we should bring jobs back to the local communities,
yeah,
so that they can.
Okay, can I get a little thought in here? Okay, because you guys keep talking about putting the same programs into a different part of the government.
no,
Dude, the state governments aren't any more efficient or any less corrupt than the federal government. Okay,
and
so how about
not putting the same programs?
so how about this? How about we motivate fucking people to find a way to go and make money? You know how you do it? Dude, if you got a family and you don't find a way to make money, your family's going hungry. You're going to be begging the church for food or the food bank for food. Okay? If you don't have a job and you're a dude, okay, this will motivate every dude to never lose a job again. Bro, there is no assistance for you. If you don't have a job, you ain't ever getting laid again. That will keep guys working. Because there ain't no chick, when there ain't no backup, no nothing, ever gonna let you touch that poo nanny if you ain't got no income.
Dude, I'm sorry. I could probably show you videos of a bunch of leftist unfuckables that would love to fuck a guy with no job just because.
Yes, because right now a guy with no job lives. Right now, a guy with no job lives better than somebody in the middle class that actually works for all their money.
Well, to a leftist, to a conservative or a libertarian, no, they don't look attractive.
So, libertarian standing for liberty, sir.
Libertarians standing for liberal retards.
No, liberal and libertarian are complete opposites.
I love how worked up Rob gets.
And we're not we're not talking about keeping the same programs and handing it back to the local governments. We're talking about getting it out of federal hands and letting the local governments decide what they want to do and how to do it, which is just
no, because that's just letting another government decide to steal from you.
No, it's not.
Okay, you just said let the local governments decide.
Let the local government, which is you're in control of, the local governments, so you can move away from there if you disagree with it. You can go somewhere else. Right now, the federal government controls everything, so no matter where you go, you're going to have the same problem.
Really?
So let the local governments decide how they want to do things.
So here in Houston, when the people voted to have Lyft and Uber legalized, and the city council banned it for 6 years straight, you're in control of the local governments.
Yep. Of what?
Yeah, and if you disagree with
when they originally launched, for 6 years they were illegal in Houston, even though people kept voting to have Lyft and Uber legalized.
Yeah, so get rid of your local representatives and get someone in there that'll take care of that.
Right, and you know what would help with that?
Move somewhere else.
You know what would help with that? My suggestion for the reforms, as far as if you lie to your constituents when you're running for election, it's a felony.
Yeah, that's
for defrauding the American people.
I don't necessarily agree with that. I hate it when they lie and they don't do it, but I don't know if I wouldn't go as far as you on that. But I mean, you just get
that is fraud. That is fraud. Okay, because they're going to get if you go and apply for a job, right? Yeah. And you lie about all your credentials and you create a really good fake and really good credentials, right? And then you get hired for that job and they find out 6 months later they paid you $50,000 and you're unqualified, you're going to go to jail for fraud. And that's what these fucking politicians are doing.
Yeah, fire the politicians.
Yeah, but if you do that, right, And the only reason that they hire you is because you fucking checked that box saying that you had those credentials. And you end up making them a bunch of money 6 months down the road. When they find out, they're not going to give a shit.
Probably not.
Look at SBF. Look at Hunter Biden.
Well, that justice system, that's going to be another episode. That's all we got for tonight, guys. I thought we'd get further than just the redistribution of wealth portion of Democrat evilness, but there's so much evilness entwined in the Democrat position on everybody paying their fair share, like right off the bat, because of the fact that their fair share means all the rich people pay a lot less taxes, not more. Anyway, y'all have a great night. Thanks for joining. Longhorn Bull and Brad. I'm sorry, just whatever that is that shows on your screen, Brian, just looks like a Longhorn Bull.
I have no idea what
It's
you're
the
talking
steering
about,
wheel.
but okay.
It's your steering wheel.
No, it's
right
not.
there.
You
It's
can't
like,
see my steering wheel. It's behind the phone.
oh, well, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, me either. It shows something. It looks like a Longhorn Bull. I'll send you a screenshot later.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for joining, guys. For all the revelers out there, thanks for joining us. It's always nice to have you guys. And y'all have a great night. Stay safe, stay good, and stay away from these socialist pricks.
Yeah.